So let's talk about the science behind procrastination. So we looked up this doctor, Dr. Pierce Steele, a professor. He has organized procrastination to come down to an actual equation. And the equation of that is basically speaking to where the higher the motivation and utility for that task, the less likely you are to procrastinate. So essentially, it's saying the more weight you put on that task, the less likely you are to procrastinate. And this actually got a lot of...
Man, I'm just thinking about all those times where, so I'm really fascinated by this, right? The higher the motivation and utility for the task, the less likely you are to procrastinate. This is me making TikToks and Reels. The higher the motivation utility for the task, guys, to make content, that stuff that you see on TikTok, Reels, everything, those people making those 30-second clips, there's a lot of detail and attention that goes into that. And the more that you actually know what that's going to take and the utility you need to make it, the more you find yourself, you know what, let me actually just go clean the dishes real quick. You know what, the carpet is looking pretty, I think I see some crumbs in there. Let me go grab the vacuum. Hey, these bed sheets are pretty dirty. Let me put them in the wash. That's how you start compensating for the actual utility of actually doing something productive by the lowest apple on the tree, so I can feel as if I'm doing something before even attacking the task.
Most definitely. And that's what it is. It's a dopamine hit, because there's instant gratification that comes from doing that. Whereas, that there's a delayed gratification that comes from actually taking the time to do that work. As well, there's a letdown when you put all that work into that TikTok, into that,
you get 100 views, work. Man.
Exactly. With any task, there is a real letdown.
Yeah.
When you put your whole self into that work and you turn it in and it gets a horrible response. You feel damn, I put all this into it. Like my self-worth is actually trying to equate to that now.
Have you ever felt that? What's an
example? Hell yeah, most definitely.
What's one thing that sticks out to you right now?
Turning in stuff to clients. Before you give something to a client and how is this? Do I like it? Do I not? And then you give to them. They're I have some feedback. I didn't like this as much. And you're damn, they didn't even like it. And one thing that we do as well is we'll procrastinate to create a framework for us to turn in bad work, because then we can say it's not our best work. I'll never forget, I was in college and we were working in Photoshop for a project, and I procrastinated on it and did a B's work, and I got a B, and I was it's okay, and I could do better than this. And that girl Ivy, shout out to Ivy wherever you are, she's how come you didn't put your whole work into it then? And I was I don't know. And it struck me how come I don't know that? How come I don't know why I didn't put my whole work into it? And then after doing research for procrastination, I realized is that I didn't want to put my whole work into it because I was afraid of what happens when I put my whole ass into something and then they reject it. Because I was equating the result to how I am as a person. And you know what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of us fall into it.
So you're saying that when we're procrastinating, this is interesting because what you're saying is if we don't put all our energy and effort into something, if it comes up short, you can at least fall back and say, well, I didn't really give my best. Hey, I kind of whatever. So you kind of retain some of that, what would you call it, pride or?
Exactly, retain the pride because I didn't do the whole of it, so it's not me. And there's a specific thinking of that. So we actually have it here. It's called downward counterfactual thinking. Downward counterfactual thinking. This focuses on how the situation could have been worse. In this scenario, a person can make themselves feel better about the outcome because they realize in that situation it's not the worst it could be. You know what I'm saying?
And the worst it could be, that would be you giving it your all and it coming and you still feeling as if hey, this was not the best that it could have been. So pretty much what I'm saying is you gave it your all and the reception that you thought you'd get by giving your all, you actually in reality got that perception. So that is actually attacking who you really are, because you've given 100% effort and it didn't even materialize into anything. So now by backing it up, I gave 50% anyway. So if it does come back in a negative response, yeah, at the end of the day, it was 50% work.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn, that's how we think, man.
That's how we think.